Hello there, this is Tamsen Garrie of Alpha Associates, and my number one strategy for you to implement in your business is this: to align your internal activity with your external activity. And I'll explain what I mean by that, because it's not always immediately obvious. Your internal activity is essentially the stuff that's going on inside your head. So what it is that you actually want to achieve, how you feel about that, the thoughts that you have around that, what you believe about that. External activity is the stuff that you're actually doing in reality, so how that's manifesting in your behaviour and the action that you're taking towards achieving the outcomes that you actually want. So have you ever wondered why some business owners appear to create success in their business with what seems to be ease, whilst other business owners appear destined to struggle? Well, in my experience, those business owners that struggle fall into one of these three areas. Number one, they don't have a vision. So they haven't taken the time to define and clarify what it is that they actually want to achieve, which means they have no destination in mind. So whilst they might be very, very busy doing lots of activity, having lots of meetings, talking to lots of different people and following up opportunities, actually there's no real focus to that activity at all. So actually they're very, very busy, but not necessarily moving forward. The second one is that they have a vision, but there's no plan. So they're clear about what it is they want to achieve, but what they haven't taken the time to do is to detail what they're going to do in order to ensure that they do achieve it. And the third area is people who have a vision and they have a plan, so they put the time in to define where they want to go, they put the time in to define what they're going to do to get there, but they're not doing it. So they're doing lots of other stuff instead, and they're not keeping on their line, which is why often they don't achieve the things they want to achieve. Now, I call this alignment of what's going on in your head with what you're actually doing, vision, mindset, action. And I'll explain what I mean by the three. Vision is about leveraging the things that motivate you to take action. That's the only rule with the vision. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it doesn't matter what the content is. The most important thing about a vision is it should motivate the business owner, so you and the people in the business, to actually take the action necessary to achieve it. Which is why for me, when I work with my clients, vision is leveraging two very, very important aspects. The first one is intent. So intent is what you actually want to achieve. Intent is based on wants, intentionally. So it's not about needs, it's not about fundamentals. Need is something that is required in order to survive, whereas a want is something that is desired but not required. And wants are infinitely more motivating than needs. So whilst I accept that there are things that you need to achieve in your business in order to pay the bills and to pay yourself a salary and pay your suppliers and all of those things, and obviously a vision should leverage those things, actually what you want to do is be stretching your vision to leverage the things that you actually want to achieve. And this is where purpose comes in, because this is the motivation aspect. Purpose is about your why. It's about why those things are important to you. It's about what those things will mean to you. So when you spent the time ascertaining what it is that you want your business to look like, the clients you want to work with, the revenue you want to generate, all of those things that are important, is actually being clear about why those things are important to you, what it will mean to you, what it will mean to the people in the business, what it will mean that you can do then that you can't do now. And equally, what will it mean if you don't do it? What will the consequences be if you don't achieve it? And leveraging those things in your vision as well. So vision is about intent, in other words, what you want to achieve, and purpose, why you want to achieve it. As human beings, we are more motivated by why we do what we do than we are by what we actually do. Now, the second aspect is mindset, and mindset is about what's going on inside your head. So essentially it's about conditioning yourself internally for success. Now, there are two aspects to this as well. Firstly is self-leadership. Self-leadership is the commitment and the capacity to take responsibility for your own success, for your own happiness, for your own outcomes. And it's the opposite of shifting responsibility onto other people or other circumstances, which is far easier to do, but not very effective. So self-leadership firstly, and then secondly self-awareness. Is actually becoming aware of you, of what it is that makes you tick, of what it is that makes up who you are, and leveraging the things in your personality and in your character that support your vision, whilst also addressing the aspects of your character that don't. So for instance, limiting beliefs, self-talk that's unhelpful, all of those things that often as business owners we allow to continue when they don't support what it is that we want to achieve, and they get in the way far more than we ever really acknowledge. So mindset is about conditioning yourself internally for success. And then the last aspect is action, and action is again split down into two areas. The first one is behaviour, and behaviour is essentially that internal activity and how that manifests on the outside. So how we act, what we say, what we do, how we say it and how we do it, but also how that actually impacts on how other people perceive us, how it impacts on what other people say about us, and therefore how it shows up in our reputation. Because our success as business people, or success in any area of life, is dependent on other people, because success comes through and as a result of others. So our reputation is incredibly important. So action is about behaviour, but it's also about the steps that we take in order to achieve the outcomes that we want. So therefore it's about planning, our plan of action. Now I say the word planning almost with some caution, because in my experience the one thing that business owners often fail to do, which doesn't fail to astound me, I have to say, is plan. And I'm not talking about a traditional business plan either. I'm not talking about a financial document that sits in a drawer. I'm talking about defining the steps that you're going to take as a business owner who is self-responsible, who has self-leadership, who is committed to creating your own outcomes in your business. What steps are you going to take in order to achieve them? What does your action plan look like? So when you have vision, mindset and action working together, supporting each other, you can't fail but to succeed, because there's no tension between what's going on in here and what's actually happening in reality. So if you can get vision, mindset and action working for you, then you can get to the end of 2012 and instead of asking yourself the question, what went wrong? Why have I not achieved my goals? You can get to the end of 2012 and instead ask yourself the question, where can I take my business next? Thank you very much for listening.